The Last Day of June is an interactive story, a bit more involved than a walking simulator in that you actually have to actively solve puzzles, but it's more of an experience than it is a game. Without giving too much away, you play as a potato-headed chump named Carl, whose wife June gets all corpsed up from a traffic collision, and it's up to you to change the past in your memories to try and save her. So this game has the usual elements of other games in this genre. You walk from point A to point B, and you have memory triggers. Each memory is of a different potato-headed chump's choices made on the last day of June. See what they did there? And can have multiple paths that affect how the story goes. As you replay certain memories, the game progresses and unlocks more chumps to play as that are affected from your previous decisions, as well as picking up memories of their lives and how all the potatoes of this town are closely intertwined. What really makes this game stand out is its soundtrack, and how it manages to evoke particular emotions at critical moments. No actual words are said in this game, as Carl and co. only converse in noises that resemble language, but more than enough feeling and emotion are translated to the player through the various imagery and music that are presented in-game. But, not all games are perfect. I was driven to the brink of insanity, or at least mild annoyance, by the fact that you can't skip cutscenes. So a really important thing to note in this game is that if you make the same decision as you've made before, you are forced to watch the entire cutscene over and over again. You can't skip. Some memories actually make you go back and replay different characters to try and push the story forward. But when you do that, you still have to watch the cutscene over and over again while you try and figure out what's the correct combination of choices to help advance the story. And you can't skip it if you've already seen it. You gotta watch it over and over and over again, and it drove me crazy. Now, granted, they won't always show you the entire cutscene, but in a game like this where you need to keep experimenting with various memories to see what happens, it's just too damn much. Give me a skip. And another thing, when you go to play memories, you start in this kind of hub world where you can select different memories to play. You know, you can play as the kid, you can go to the woman, the guy with a gun, but if you decide that you want to go back and change characters and try something else, you can't do that. You have to finish out your playthrough with that character that you selected before you can actually go back and change anything else. So if you decided that the choice that you made wasn't the right one, you can't just go back to the menu and restart. You have to finish your story, and it's just so tedious sometimes. You just have to keep watching the same cutscenes over and over again because, as I said, you can't skip. So between playing through all the other people's memories, you navigate around the little town you live in, recalling snippets of your own memory. And you're reliving your life with June and recalling all that happened between the two of you up until this fateful day. It's delivered to you in part, so the story isn't completely handed to you on a platter all at once, but it's in more sensible bites of exposition to help digest how the story has been playing out so far. So as I'm writing this review, I'm listening to the music that actually inspired the game. It's an album called To The Bone by Steven Wilson, and I think the game perfectly captures its essence. They both stir up feelings of love and loss, regret and loneliness, just almost despair in a way, but longing despair. The game isn't perfect, but it does have an excellent story. The characters feel natural in their world. The relationships between all the characters don't feel forced. They're kind of organic. It's the kind of game that if someone asked you to give an example of why video games can be considered art, this is one that I would put forward. So the story doesn't drag on too long, but it isn't too short, and it's got you questioning your decisions along every step of the way. And in my opinion, it really actually makes you feel grateful for the loved ones you have in life by the end of the game. Trust me when I say I haven't given away anything more than the trailer shows, but if you're a fan of video games as art, or walking simulators, or even impactful story games, I think you'll enjoy this as much as I did. I give The Last Day of June 7 thumbs up.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause nothing really dies, nothing really ends.